Hey, I just wanted to do a quick video on circle of fifths and circle and fourths, but not so much on how to construct the circle of fifths and fourths, but rather how I've been using it practically to remember major keys and how many sharps and flats are in those major keys, and a super interesting relationship between a major key of a letter and this corresponding flat of that. What I mean by that, I'll explain in a couple of minutes. Alright, so let's get started on the circle of fifths. So if you look at the circle of fifths, starting at the very top at 12 o'clock is the C. And to the right of that, you start moving through each of those corresponding notes, fifth interval. So you have C, the fifth to C is G, the fifth to G is D, the fifth to D is A, etc. And then there's also something called the circle of fourths if you go the opposite direction. So if you go back to C, the fourth to C is F, the fourth to F is B flat, etc. Alright, so the first one is you go around the circle of fifths, it tells you how many sharps each key has as you rotate to the right around the circle of fifths. So, starting on C, obviously always at 12 o'clock, there are no sharps. But if you look at G, it has one sharp. To the right of that is D, that will have two sharps. A, 3, E, 4, and so forth. Alright, there's two ways of knowing what the sharps are going to be. So, it's as you go around the circle of fifths, the newest introduced note is always the seventh of that key. So, what does that mean? G, what's the seventh of G? Is the F. So, the one sharp in G major is an F sharp. D, what's the seventh of D? That's a C. So, the introduced sharp into D is a C sharp. And the one before was an F sharp. So D has two sharps, that's F sharp and C sharp. A, what's the seventh of A? It's a G, so that means the new introduced sharp is a G sharp. So A will have F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. That's a cool way of doing it. Another way is actually you can just look at the circle of fifths, and if you start on the first sharp, which is G, and we look at the first fourth to C, which is F, we can start there. So G has one sharp, which is F. Straight away, we can just now rotate around the circle, following along. D has two sharps, F and C. A has three sharps, F, C, G. E has four sharps, F, C, G, D, and so forth. I thought that's a really cool and easy way to remember it. The other way now we're going to look at is the flats, and that's going around the circle of fourths. So once again, C has no flats either. F has one flat. And the first introduced flat is the fourth of that. So the fourth of F is a B flat. So the one flat in F is B flat. Let's go to the next one, B flat. Well, there was a B flat from the F before and itself. And then the next one is E flat. That's the fourth to B flat. So B flat has two flats. That's B flat and E flat. Let's go to E flat. That has three flats. The B flat from before itself being the E flat, which was before as well, and the new fourth, which is A flat, and so forth as you go around the circle. But there's another cool little way you can do it, once again, is just following the lines. So, if we start on F, we're now going to start a line in front of it. So F has one flat, that's B flat. B flat has two flats, that's B flat and E flat. E flat has three flats, that's E flat and A flat, and so forth. And you can follow those lines right around. Now this next one I want to show you is, I'm not sure the exact naming of it. I'm going to call it the reverse trick, but it's been helping me a lot as I'm teaching my daughter some music theory at home as she's doing her saxophone journey. And she's only 7, so it's kind of helpful to remember some of these easy things. Now just quickly, we know that each major scale has 7 notes. We can start back at C. You can have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the octave, which is C again. So remember that's 7. So this next one we're going to do, this reverse trick, is a relationship between the same lettered note and its counterpart being the flat. So I'll explain that now because that might be confusing. It makes sense to me, but it's probably confusing the way I explained it. So let's go back to the circle of fifths. Let's look at G. G has one sharp. So I wonder how many sharps or flats G flat has. Well, it's got a flat in it. And we said there's 7 notes. 7 minus 1 for the G takes us to G flat, will take us to 6 flats. That's that relationship. All right, 6 flats. Cool. Now I've got to go make my way around the circle of fifths. A circle of fourths, sorry, to make sure to figure out how many flats it has. Or I can think of this little reverse trick. G has 1 sharp, which is F. Therefore, G flat has 1 natural note. What do you think the natural note is? It's the F. Let's do it again. D. D has 2 sharps, F and C. D flat. How many flats? 7 minus 2, 5. It's going to have 5 flats. What are the 2 natural notes? F and C. A. A has 3 sharps. Let's think about A flat. Well, 7 minus 3 is 4. A flat's going to have 4 flats. What are the 3 natural notes in A flat? F, C, and G. Let's go one more. E sharp. E sharp has 4 sharps. So E flat must then have 3 flats. What are the natural notes in E flat? F, C, G, and D. It's a really cool relationship. I actually learned that from watching a Victor Wooten YouTube video. And it took me a few times to watch it, and then it finally clicked, and then I started looking at the circle of fifths, and I thought that's really cool. All right. Once again, thank you very much. Sorry this wasn't a video of me playing guitar or showing some cool rare jazz videos. Rather, I just thought it was something really cool that I know has helped me understand and think about major keys a lot easier, to understand how many sharps and flats. Once again, if you've got a cool way of doing this or another way, I'd love to hear it. Please comment below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love it. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Bye.